Up first, a cheater whose medical bills came back to haunt her. Wife of 11 years pregnant with another's child. So, just to get started, I'm on mobile, so please excuse the errors. Also, throwaway account. I'm also not a great storyteller, so bear with me. My wife, 32 female, and I, 34 male, have been married for 11 years now. We have 2 daughters, 10 and 11. This story begins as I am online paying some minor medical things. I noticed a bunch of appointments that I didn't know about for my wife. In a nutshell, one was her doctor saying she was 6 weeks pregnant, and another was her having an abortion. I was extremely shocked, to say the least. Later that night, I asked her if she was ever going to tell me she got pregnant. A bunch of questions from her ensues, and I just follow up with, well, what about the abortion? A bunch of back and forth goes between us, mainly about how I knew, yada yada. At this point, I'm not even thinking about someone else in the picture. I had a vasectomy years ago. I had the follow-up appointment confirming a successful procedure, though I do realize that it can reverse itself. Onward with the story. I'm trying to be supportive. I'm not upset about anything so far except for the fact that she hid this from me. She then tells me that she was afraid to tell me about the pregnancy because she did not know if it was mine. Apparently, she has been having unprotected sex with a coworker in the back of her car. She works nights. For the last 6 months. I was so blindsided by this affair. She says that she regretted it at the time of the abortion. Mind you, this was back in early November. Though she says that she has continued to have sex with him even a couple times in February. She's a mess right now and I really want to hold her, but I'm trying to stay strong. She made her bed, now she can lay in it. I know this is in no way my fault. Her decision, her actions, her mistakes. I'm so torn up by all of this though. Happened earlier this week. I loved this woman dearly. Still do in fact. But there is no way that I can ever reconcile and forgive her actions. To me, 11 years of our built-up relationship and trust just toppled in one day. I want the best for her, but I no longer want to be the one who provides that. I have already told her that I want a separation and I have asked her to move out. I rent a home for my mother, with the stipulation that I help my grandmother out when needed. She lives with us as well. It would be awkward as hell if she stayed here once the family is told. Though, even if my grandmother didn't live here, I would ask her to move out. I'm of the mindset, I'm not the one who cheated, why should I move all my crap? So any advice moving forward? We both have our kids' interests in our hearts, and, at least at this point, everything has been pretty calm during our talks. Lots of sadness going around, but no yelling or screaming. I feel like this is going to take a long time to heal from. I'm trying not to break down as I'm typing all this down. 1 week update. I have talked to my soon-to-be ex a few times about certain things, and I believe I have a better plan now. She has a very limited time to get out of the house. I have contacted a lawyer, and am currently collecting information for the separation papers. I have been tested for STDs, and everything that has come back so far has been clean. I have not told my children yet. Soon-to-be ex wanted to say that we are just breaking up. I was like, hell no, I'm telling them that mommy had a boyfriend. They need to learn that a marriage is a serious thing. This has been rough for me so far. I feel as if I'm barely keeping myself together. Today especially. I'm currently keeping a front up in front of my girls, but I still have to walk away sometimes to compose myself. I never thought that my emotions could ever fall this deep. I will find a way to pull through. I have to. For my girls and for my own sanity. I want to thank everyone thus far. People who have posted your advice, people who have sent me direct messages, thank you. Let's check in with the community for some of that advice and thoughts. Topo241 says, advice is to contact lawyer ASAP. If she truly was remorseful, she would have told you instantly, but instead, it was going on for half a year and would have been going on had you not confronted her, which isn't the signs of someone that is remorseful. Instead, is sad she got caught and her fantasy is over. You absolutely should not move as well. She is the one that ruined it, so she needs to suffer consequences for her actions. Please get tested and also get a paternity test for your 2 kids. You truly cannot trust her. I hope you find peace. The OP replies, I know 100% that my children are mine. Thanks for the concern though. Also, I already have an appointment with my doctor to get fully tested. I also have appointments set up with a couple of different lawyers. Testing the waters, so to speak. AdKey7672 wanted to add this. 20 years ago, I was 35 and found out my wife of 10 years was having an affair with an investor in our business. We had a boy, 6.5, a girl 5, and a girl 1. She was in the affair fog and happy to see me go, but I did not look back for a second and filed for divorce. Even though I only got every other weekend with my kids have a better relationship with me today than they do with their mother. A year later, I started dating a girl with a 4-year-old. We raised him full-time as his dad was a deadbeat. All my kids adored him. I am now happily married to her, and she is my best friend. My oldest daughter just had my first grandson, and all the kids were here. At 55 years old, my ex-wife is alone because the investor dumped her in less than 6 months. She became a carousel rider and has been dumped by everyone she's dated since. Trust yourself in your path. Someone worthy and faithful is out there, and your kids will respect the dignity you hold for yourself. God bless and good luck. To get pregnant, have an abortion, and to continue having sex with this guy? I think you're right to say she made her bed. Now she can lay in it. You seem far too kind, OP. She was pregnant with someone else's baby and you still look to comfort her. That speaks volumes of you and how much you cared for her, and it breaks my heart to hear it. I wish she hadn't done this to you. You deserve so much better. I know you'll pull through this. Just wish you didn't have to. What do you think OP should have done when he found out? What would have been your first thoughts? Would you have made her leave immediately? Next up, a secret that ate this OP alive. Am I the a-hole for not telling my friend sooner than her boyfriend is cheating on her? So my friend, let's call her Emma, female 24, and I, female 24, had been friends for approximately 6 years. We met each other in school and formed a friendship group with 4 other girls. At around the 4-year mark of our friendship, Emma got into a relationship with a guy, let's call him Alex, who was a good friend of mine. Now their relationship was on and off again for the majority of the 2 years that they were together, and it is something that myself and the other girls just got used to. Whenever they broke up, it was just a matter of time before they made up. At around the 6-year mark of myself and Emma's friendship, I started to notice that Emma would constantly pick on my insecurities and get the other girls to join in. She knew I was struggling with my mental health, but thought it would be a good idea to make fun of me about it. At one point, I had a panic attack in a restaurant we were having lunch at, and she simply just started laughing at me. She would also constantly tell the other girls not to invite me to social events because she just doesn't like me. Of course, this absolutely broke my heart, because we had been friends for so long, but I'm not someone to beg for a friendship. As such, I texted her one day telling her this friendship is not going anywhere and that I wish her all the luck in her life, in which then I proceeded to remove her number from my phone. As for the other girls in the group, I only stayed friends with one of them who had always been supportive of me. At the point in which I had ended my friendship with Emma, Alex and Emma had just gotten back together. Now remember, I had said that Alex and I were good friends. Such good friends that actually he confided in me that he is cheating on Emma with a couple of other girls. I told him immediately that this is wrong and he should know better not to sleep with other girls when he is in a relationship. However, he simply brushed me off and told me that it's just a guy thing. I felt guilty knowing this information without telling Emma about it. But at this point, we were not friends and she was just simply a mean girl who made jibes at me on social media, and so I left it. A couple of months had passed and Emma and Alex were still together. At this point, the guilt was eating me up and I knew I just had to clear my conscience. I confided in the one girl who I was still friends with in the friendship group and told her to tell Emma about the situation. A couple of days later, I got sent countless texts from an unknown number telling me that I am a horrible person. It didn't take long to figure out this was Emma, and she proceeded to say how I'm an evil person for knowing about the cheating and not saying anything sooner. She said even if we were not friends, it's a decent thing to do. So my question is, am I the a-hole for not telling my friend sooner than her boyfriend is cheating on her? Let's check in with the judgment comments. Heavy Heart 93 says, for someone who just recently experienced my first panic attack while holding my daughter in my arms, no, and F her. You cut her off when she became a mean girl. Then later find out your male friend is a cheater. You should cut him off too. Why should you continue to help her out if she's constantly bullying you online? Yeah, nope. Now, if you guys just got into a fight and you cut her off, yeah, maybe then tell her. Every Geologist 9460 wants to chime in. In this situation, it seems like there are multiple layers of conflict and it hurt. It's understandable that you feel guilty about not telling Emma about her boyfriend's infidelity, but it's also important to consider the context of your relationship with her and the toxic behavior she exhibited towards you. It's not your responsibility to fix or save a relationship that isn't your own, and it's important to prioritize your own well-being and boundaries. It's also important to consider how telling Emma about the cheating would have affected your own mental health and the potential backlash from her, given the way she treated you in the past. Ad Successful 2506 thinks, no. Actually, you were the friend of her boyfriend that trusted on you, when she was just a mean ex-friend. What you did was totally correct, and she should have been more grateful than angry with you. I don't think you're the a-hole at all in this scenario. It sounds like Emma is. If you guys weren't friends at the time you found out, and you still felt guilty for not telling her what you know despite the way she treated you, that's saying something. I'm not sure many people would have done the same. Would you have told Emma? Let us know below. Next up, is ghosting a cheater okay? I've been with my boyfriend for nearly 2 years now. He's a very loving and caring man. with a good heart, but also with a secret life, it seems. I caught him cheating the first time last year when I had a gut feeling and decided to look through his phone. Granted, he did tell me I had a free reign over his phone and he had nothing to hide, so I had no reason to look, but he had been acting strange all week, and I just had to. Even though he gave me free reign, it still felt wrong. But I ended up finding intimate texts between him and his ex, and from that convo, I saw they had met up once for coffee during the relationship and had been bugging her to hang out when we first started dating. I was devastated. We were only about 6 months into our relationship. It took me 2 weeks to confront him, but we ended up talking it out. He blocked her, and things were golden again. About 11 months later, I catch him again sexting, same girl, but this time it looked like she was reaching out to let him know she wanted to stop all communication with him. The way the convo went, it was just bizarre. But anyways, I confront him straight away this time, and he says he's trying to get rid of her, and she was the one that reached out. But it looked like they were just reminiscing about their sexual experiences with each other, and he was still pining for her. He assured me he had never had any feelings for her, and that it was just sex he wanted, but his actions and texts said otherwise. So I broke up with him, but my pathetic butt wanted him in my life still, because love and attachment. We go on limited contact for about a month, but he had planned a Vegas trip a month prior before the breakup, and just decided to go anyways. We talked it out again, I set boundaries, and it seemed that things can work out. Seems like I never learned my lesson. It's about 2 months since Vegas, and here I am, same scenario. I find him chatting with someone on Instagram and out of frustration delete and block the person, deciding to not even confront him about it. He ends up coming to me about it, beating around the bush on what I did and me playing dumb. I eventually asked where he met her, and he premised with, "You'll be upset if I told you," and I told him I highly doubt you can hurt me any more than you have. He tells me about FetLife, and I asked to see his profile and convos, exchanges of nudes and flirting, joined hookup forums, also found he had multiple Instagram accounts despite telling me he wasn't on there anymore, as well as multiple Snapchat accounts. He's been on FetLife for the whole of our relationship, it seemed. I feel like an absolute dumb butt. Every time I tried to break up with him prior, it's like he always says the right things to get me to stay. I try to block him on all platforms, yet he converses with me on Venmo for Christ's sake. I've since blocked him on everything, but ended up communicating yesterday because he owes me money. He won't give me the amount in full even though I know he has the money. And again, on the phone, he made me feel guilty for blocking him and talking things out. He didn't even apologize for what he did. At this point, the $300 is not worth my peace. I don't like the idea of ghosting, but is it acceptable here? Sorry for the long post. I'm just sad and broken right now and just don't know what to do with myself. Ask for advice, the community has it. Red NWC03 says, "Ghost his butt. He doesn't deserve the opportunity to talk to you. If you can survive without the $300, then just disappear. He's a piece of crap." Hello World PHPJS says, "I like to reserve common courtesy and decency for commonly courteous and decent people. He doesn't seem to fit that mold. Please chalk the $300 off to an expense lesson of fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me, and kindly ghost his arse." The OP replies, "Yeah, I feel like he was using the money just to get me to talk to him and wouldn't give me the full amount, but in increments to stay in contact, like dangling a carrot in front of a freaking horse." Taco Strong chimes in, "He's a very loving and caring man with a good heart." No, he's not, or else he wouldn't have done what he did. His actions throw any of his fake niceties out the window. Do what you have to do to get away from this traitor, even if it means ghosting. F him. Yes, you need to rip the band-aid, grow up, and stop living out the same cycle. You're so much better than this and him, OP. Let the past stay in the past and put this ghost to rest. Thoughts? Thank you for joining us today on Our Space. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. We'd hate for you to miss out. And if you want to listen to more stories from me, check out our lounge, where I feature a larger variety of non-cheating related stories. See you there.